Now it's time for your 420 Radio News for Monday, March 25th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Senator Rand Paul says marijuana use is not something to promote, but it's a big mistake to jail people over it. This from Huffington Post. In an interview with Fox News Sunday's Chris Wallace, Senator Rand Paul, Republican of Kentucky, was asked why he advocates for more lenient marijuana laws. He said, quote, "I don't want to promote that, but I also don't want to put people in jail who made a mistake," Paul explained. "There are a lot of young people who do this, and then later on in their 20s they grow up and get married and they quit doing things like this. I don't want to put them in jail and ruin their lives," end quote. That led Senator Paul to mention some bigger figures who have been linked to marijuana in the past, Presidents Barack Obama and George W. Bush. He said, quote, "Look, the last two presidents could conceivably have been put in jail for their drug use, and I really think, look what would have happened. It would have ruined their lives," Paul added. "They got lucky, but a lot of poor kids, particularly in the inner city, don't get lucky. They don't have good attorneys, and they go to jail for these things, and I think it's a big mistake," end quote. Back in November, Senator Paul outlined similar views, explaining how he is personally against marijuana use, but sees states as the right place for decisions to be made, saying, quote, "States should be allowed to make a lot of these decisions," Senator Paul said. "I want things to be decided more at a local basis with more compassion. I think it would make us as Republicans different," end quote. Maryland House passes medical marijuana bill from CBS Baltimore. A measure to allow medical marijuana in Maryland moved forward in the House of Delegates Monday. The House passed the bill 108-28. It now heads to the Senate. The legislation would create a commission to oversee a medical marijuana program at academic medical research centers that decide to participate. The commission would function within the Maryland Department of Health and Mental Hygiene. It's estimated that patients could not participate in a medical marijuana program before July 2015. The commission overseeing the program could license no more than 5 medical marijuana growers for each approved program. Under the current law, if a court finds that a defendant used marijuana out of medical necessity, the maximum punishment is a $100 fine. Critics say the current law still forces people whose pain could be alleviated by marijuana to buy it illegally from drug dealers. Linn State Technical College federal judge orders school to stop drug testing students. This from Riverfront Times. Do colleges have a right to mandate all students pass drug tests? The American Civil Liberties Union of Eastern Missouri has argued that it's an unconstitutional practice, and it seems a federal judge agrees in the case of one local college. The ACLU filed a lawsuit in 2011 against Linn State Technical College after the school mandated that all incoming students submit to a new mandatory drug testing policy. And on Friday, a judge issued an official order, on view below, blocking the college's controversial requirement. The latest development in this legal battle is a decision from U.S. District Judge Nanette Loffrey dictating that most of those students cannot have the results of the 2011 drug tests reported to the school. The decision makes an exception for students enrolled in the aviation maintenance, heavy equipment operations, and industrial electricity programs. But those who are part of the roughly 30 other programs cannot be drug tested at this time. Pro-marijuana super-PAC launched. This from The Hill. 2 California men have launched a pro-marijuana super-PAC to fight for legalizing the drug. The legalizingmarijuanasuperpac.com is the first of its kind in the country. Brothers Mark and Dennis Rogers submitted their super-PAC application to the Federal Election Commission on March 11th. According to Mark Rogers, the organization's president, the super-PAC was founded to deal with legal troubles concerning probationary issues with medical and recreational marijuana use. The two own the Canna King Collective, an armored van that serves as a mobile dispensary in San Jose, California, and possess several tools to aid them in their fight for legalization. Washington's first medical marijuana dispensary prepares to open next month from the Washington Post. Security cameras have been installed, scales calibrated, and signs declaring no returns hung on the walls at Capital City Care. There's just one thing missing before Washington, D.C.'s first medical marijuana dispensary can open its doors: the marijuana itself. The medical marijuana is currently being grown in a separate building in Northeast Washington. District rules require that the plants be in the ground for at least 60 days before they are harvested, and each cultivation facility is limited to 95 plants at any given time. By mid-April, Capital City Care plans to begin selling 4 strains of medical marijuana from its 2,000-square-foot perch on North Capitol Street. 5 more licensed dispensaries are slated to open shortly thereafter. And that's your 420 Radio News for Monday, March 25th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines with a look at various states trying to pass hemp legalization bills, from Vermont to Hawaii and everywhere in between. You're listening to 420radio.org. This is the Russ Belville Show. We'll be right back after this.